It's a time for a package from China. And they look quite weird, in my opinion. Well, whatever. Package from China time! Welcome to the Wicked Gamer and Collector. It's awesome that you're tuning in because in this video we are going to take a close look at the new Pandora Saga. So here in the Pandora jungle we have a lot of these different main boards, but the question remains more like how good or how bad are these things? So this what I got is more like a plug and play console kit, more like a console kit. Basically what they're doing, they're grabbing a main board like that and just combine it with a controller, an HDMI cable and a power supply. Yeah. But in the end, these are just Pandora's box main boards that they made more like a game console kit. And this means that these boards, yeah, the one over there, the tiny one, can be found in your arcade machine, maybe in portable Pandora box or just in your 2-player version. That's basically what they're doing. And the question remains, what kind of control are we going to get with these things? Because that is a different story. So when they are selling these Pandora's boxes or these kits, so what you're going to get is more like this USB controller. It's very lightweighted, super chemical, has a really horrible touch and these slippery joysticks. But also we're having more like the 201 and this means, go away rat. So what you're going to get is one connection and 2 controllers. These things are very convenient, otherwise you need to use a USB hub. Why? I will tell you later. And of course, here in the red one, this is the most horrible controller ever that I've ever seen. It's very flimsy and the D-pad, it is, you can already hear it, it's horrible. Someday they are selling the controls with a Pandora's box. It's just a shame because this will completely destroy your gaming experience if you're having a shitty controller like that. Okay, so we're going to get this basic cheap HDMI cable. In the beginning of the Pandora box era, we got this very nice high quality cables, or it looks high quality. And we're going to get this very strange 6 volt 2 amp power supply, or they're saying lithium battery charger. What the hell is going on with these things? And of course, here we're having the Pandora's box. Let's talk about this bad boy, because there are quite some interesting facts about this thing. So when it comes to the connections, we have seen this many times before. It's similar like some of these fake boxes and Pandora Games 3D, the layout. Nevertheless, what we're going to get are 2 USB ports. One of them can be used for a controller. Then we're having the settings button, volume control, audio out, VGA out. Take consideration, this is just for an old school VGA monitor, not for a CRT most of the time. We're having HDMI out, and then we're having the input for the 12-volt power supply. Another thing I noticed quite interesting is that the PCBs over here are going to get very small. And for the people not familiar with it, thinking, hey, what are you talking about? So you can see already here, we're having some empty space. And the reason why, that's making the board smaller. Quite interesting. So let's grab ourselves an original Pandora's box. And you can see the difference. So this is an older board, let's say, year old. And they are getting a little bit smaller. I don't know if this is a good thing or this is just a way they want to make like cheaper boards. I have no idea why. But nevertheless, let's take a close look at it. What kind of specs do we have? How good is this thing? Or is it again old stuff? Really old. Sometimes they're just going to put a jumper over here, but in this case, let's use an on and off switch. But I want to do a quick teardown for you guys just to see what happens. Don't mind the second pin of my fan has been fallen off. The construction is very cheaply made. I just left it this way. Oh man, I just need to check it out. Okay, the fan is just a basic PSA 12-volt fan that you're going to get with these Pandora's boxes. But let's take a close look at the chip. Because with the chip, oh boy, the specs. Look at this. We're having here an all-winner H3. That is a very old school chip. And chip they're using, or they used back in the day with the really first generation of Pandora's boxes. So what we're going to get is a new name, 1 GB of RAM, and yeah, I'm guessing a lot of choppy emulation. Nevertheless, the Pandora Saga. So this was more like the version that I was waiting for to check out. What they did add with this main board is the Wi-Fi edition for the Naughty Store. That's quite interesting. Pandora Saga. The nightmare continues. Got a really fancy intro. Okay, loading time take quite long. And it does Wi-Fi capabilities. Ooh. But also the cheaper versions and the weird consoles are going to get the same menu. So these Pandora's boxes are running on the back end on Android. Most of the time it's a really old one. I think that Emu Chicken told me something about number 5. Nevertheless, it's prehistoric software, but they managed to put an interface on and got some nice fancy things you can do with it. So over here we're going to get the all list, like the one big pile of crap list. I really hate it. Category, we can choose between different categories, quite interesting. So this thing has support for NES, Super NES. So far I know all the Game Boys, PC Engine. We're having a Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation, Neo Geo MAME. So there's a lot of stuff this thing can do. But how good it runs, that is something we're going to find out today. Not to forget, we're going to get the recent list, and of course we're having the search function. So there's more like standard interface that a lot of these Pandora boxes have similar to each other. It's quite interesting, it works quite fast. So let's search for Mortal Kombat. Well, we're not going to boot it up yet. But first, let's take a close look at the settings. Are there some new features over here? Yeah, for the people familiar to Pandora box, nope, there is nothing new over here. Key settings, fun to show you guys. So having like the gamepad settings, and this is very convenient. If you're having 4 different controllers, you can set them up which controller will be which player. If you don't do this, everybody going to be player 1, for example. Coin settings, auto, exit, how you need to exit the game. Let's see, we're having image optimization, we're having disable, HD and scan lines. Language, enter game settings, enter game market. This is what I love to call the naughty store. By entering your Wi-Fi information, there is a store out there that we're having the option. It seems to be not doing anything over here anymore. Nope. But normally you can get into the store, but it doesn't work that well in my opinion. So just forget I just told you. Nevertheless, what you're going to get is more like some other things like check for update, Wi-Fi. In my opinion, did try it in the past, never got any success with it. I'm not the star for, I just leave the Wi-Fi capabilities where it is, in the trash can. Yeah.
Round 1, fight! Round 2, fight!
Wow. Seems to be running just great. Gameplay time. Yep, they're still using the old N64 emulators. Yep. Cyberwolf. Alright, that's the background. Yep. Oh man, hear that frame rate. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh, 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 oh. But I think it's safe to say that another one bites the dust, simply because this is another Pandora Saga box, Pandora's box, whatever you want to call this thing again. It's more like it's the same story, and this is the reason I just keep digging to find out if there are different versions out there. And when you're looking at the pros and the cons, yeah, there are some positive sides to this, but in the end, when you look at the build quality and overall performance, it's mediocre. It's not something special. It's one of the many that can do these things. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I'll see you in the next video.